If you know what a line is, you sure know what a bump is. So time and time again, they have made fun of Marion Barry's crack addiction. If any one of them had a family member that suffers from addiction, and it could be crack, it could be anything else, I guarantee you they would fight for that article or those articles not to be put out in the first place. If his father was a crack addict, he wouldn't have all of these things to say. He wouldn't think of it as a joke because it's not. What's up, everybody? It's your girl B Octavia, and I am back with another video. Today we will be talking about some unfortunate news that within a company's new food promotion, they have received a lot of backlash. So before we get into this video, let me introduce myself. My name is B Octavia. I'm 27, almost 28, and I'm from Washington, D.C. If you are a new viewer, hey, how you doing? Over here, we like to get real. We like to be fair. We like to find the lessons in what is going on in everyday life. So, with all of that being said, let's get into the video. And Pizza, which is a pizza food chain, whatever the fuck you want to call it, a restaurant, I don't know. They unveiled a new promotion in honor of DC's former mayor, Marion Barry. Marion Barry passed away November 23rd of 2014, but that has not stopped the unfortunate disrespect that has came his way randomly. The honor and Pizza showed to Marion Barry was to theme a dessert after him. And a lot of people would think, just by me saying that, they would just think, oh, that's so nice of them. I would too, if it wasn't so disrespectful. And Pizza unveiled a new sugar-dusted Marion Barry, spelling the berry with an E instead of an A, pizza nuts. A lot of people, especially DMV residents, are outraged because it's not just the name and overall new product that alludes to Marion Barry's past crack addiction. DMV residents are also outraged because of the slogans that went along with releasing this new product. They advertised, and I quote, "And Pizza cracks open a new threshold for desserts with nuts so good it's likely a felony," blatantly referring to Marion Barry's 1990 arrest for crack use and possession. A arrest that cost him his first marriage and a strained relationship with his children. They didn't stop there. And Pizza also bragged and advertised that the limited edition menu item has enough powdered sugar that it will force the DEA to look twice. And just when you thought that was it, no, that's not it. These fuckers also depicted the powdered sugar to look like cocaine, wrapped in little damn baggies, and piled on a mirror with a sign that said, "Our classic knots got a bump." And we all grown here. I check my demographic almost every month and see what the ages are and what they vary from and what I can talk about, within those age groups and things like that. If you know what a line is, you damn sure know what a bump is. I'm going to lay out my problem with the disrespect that constantly and continuously comes Marion Barry's way. First of all, of course, he is deceased, but And Pizza isn't the only company and or corporation that has slandered DC's former mayor. TMZ broke the news of Marion Barry's passing in 2014 by stating Marion Barry, ... crack mayor, dead. That happened in 2014, but that's not the only time that TMZ has been very disrespectful within mentioning Marion Barry. They've said something in 2020. I'm not sure if anything has happened in the last 4 years, but I wouldn't be surprised. And I also found an article that was put out in August of 2009 that states Marion Barry, dot, 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 hard to crack. So time and time again, they have made fun of Marion Barry's crack addiction when if any one of them, and this is how out of touch people are, if any one of them had family members, it don't matter if they extremely close or you seen them all your childhood. If any one of them had a family member that suffers from addiction, and it could be crack, it could be anything else, I guarantee you they would fight for that article or those articles not to be put out in the first place. And let's talk about the creator and the overall boss of TMZ. If his father was a crack addict, he wouldn't have all of these things to say. He wouldn't think of it as a joke, because it's not. If we all had to do a social experiment with going into the most drug infected areas, he wouldn't go. Let's see how long any one of us could last. You got to be an addict to actually survive out there, in my opinion. You have to be. And then what? Would you want anybody to laugh at your downfall or your demise or your dark moment, whatever you want to call it? The best people in the world, it's millionaires, it's people who touch millions who are now out on the street smoking crack. Is that funny? Not to me. It's also people that's on cocaine right now that in a few years will be on crack, and they are the head of corporations and holding down a job that you would never know do fucking cocaine. So it's just something to think about. The articles that I mentioned about TMZ are still out to this day. So it bothers me, not just being a DC resident or not just the fact that Marion Barry has showed up to all of my graduations. Like he was an uncle of mine or all of us. That's what it seemed like. He was an uncle or a grandfather. I ain't never even met my grandfathers. I feel like they passed, way before I was even 10. So him showing up and being there for our graduations, talking his shit, it's not just because of that. It's because of how much he did for this city. And regardless of that, my family would still be my family. And there's addiction all throughout my family. So much so that it pains me to be a part of this family sometimes. So regardless if I was from DC, the East Coast, period, what have you, I would ride for this very situation. Because it's disrespectful for no apparent reason. What did him smoking crack have to do with you living your everyday life? If you want to show respect to all of the hard work that he put in. The hard work that a lot of these politicians, these DC council members are not doing currently and have not been doing for the past, ever since he died. Let's talk about it. 10 years since his passing. Nearly 10 years, almost 10 years. And these motherfuckers is committing fraud. These motherfuckers is stealing from programs, saying that they're creating programs only to steal the money. It's fucking ridiculous, is what it is. This is really how I wanted to put this. I don't get why he gets as much disrespect as he does, because nobody ever does that to Delonte West. Former basketball player Delonte West, the most disrespectful thing that people could do is videotaping him. That is disrespectful in his time of need and despair. But nobody ever laughs at Delonte West. Why? Why? Do you have to be a former b-ball player that struggles with addiction to get prayers and not disrespect? You tell me. How about Amanda Bynes, Cara Delevingne, Robert Downey Jr., Eminem, Mac Miller? Do you have to be a famous actor or actress, supermodel, or a rapper to get some type of decency, respect, and grace? Marion Barry was far more than a crackhead. He was far more than his crack addiction. He showed that with his work ethic. A functional addict, yes, I'll give you that. But while functioning, let me just tell you what he has done. He sat on the city council fighting vocally for what he knew his community needed. And like I said, we are now left with the sketchiest of the sketchy. I don't trust none of them, especially Trayon White. There, I said it. I don't trust none of them. Marion Barry wouldn't have trusted any of them. He didn't never get no goddamn fraud and indicted like to this degree. No, 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 no. Anything that he caught was drugs. And that's not better than fraud, but it ain't fraud. Catching a charge, period, is a motherfucker. The only thing that they got alike is motherfuckers was secretly recording them and they incriminated themselves on tape. But the context of it is different. And I would never want Trayon White to be the mayor. Don't trust it. And who we got? We got Marion Barry. I don't want her to be the mayor anymore. Before that, we had the light-skinned man, Vincent Gray or something like that, who is now stepping down from the city council due to early onset dementia. It's workers for nonprofit organizations that are getting indicted, arrested. Who can we trust? Marion Barry created and backed programs that employed young teens like me and helped a lot of young teenagers stay out of trouble. And most importantly, he gave us an opportunity to get a taste of the work field and the workforce way before we could get a legal job. Even at a grocery store, you still had to be like 16 or 17. We had summer jobs at like 10, 11. So it was a blessing to have that. And during the summer back then, my parents, I wasn't walking around with no damn allowance. I didn't have nothing. So I will always see that as a blessing. Marion Barry also served as our mayor, as DC's mayor for 4 terms. That hasn't been done ever since he did it. Let's talk about it. And I don't see it happening, to be honest with you. I don't see it happening. He gained and kept the trust as well as the loyalty of his people from his start within activism and politics until his dying day. And that same loyalty and trust is forever, in my opinion. So the next time anybody speaks about the late but very great Marion Barry, put some respect on his name. That's it. Put some respect on his name. Yeah. 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 And of course, in response, and pizza, at first they was trying to brush it off. And then as things started to mount, they had no choice but to say that they are pulling the Marion Barry pizza knots out of respect for everybody, especially Marion Barry. If you truly had respect for Marion Barry and his legacy, you would have really thought out that promotion a lot better. Being a pizza place, how about creating a pizza, reaching out to some of his family and saying, hey, what was his favorite pizza? You know, you could have created a fucking pizza, but you want to use the sugar and make it stupid. Okay? I'll have you know that Marion Barry's crack addiction didn't stop after his arrest. In my opinion, it didn't stop until his dying day. His crack addiction made him really unwell in his later years. And his health was declining the whole entire 2014. Even if he did stop smoking it, it still had a long time effect on his body and it took him out. It is also my opinion that he should have had quite a few more years, but only God has the right to choose when somebody's time here on earth is done. And I'm at least glad that Nobody harmed him. It wasn't anything like that. I hope that he rests in peace. If his burial site is not like all secluded and things like that, and it's, I don't know. I would love to go in light of all of this. I would love to go and pay my respects to him and just say thank you. I really would want to say thank you. My high school graduation, he was there, and it was very hard to see that his body was failing him and he was himself, but it was a struggle. So rest in peace to the late but very great Marion Barry, and hopefully nobody else makes this mistake. Make sure you like this video, comment your thoughts, and I will see y'all in my next one.